Aquarius is not here to fit in. Aquarius is here to question the blueprint, redesign the system, and then quietly move 10 steps ahead while everyone else is still debating step 1. If you're an Aquarius Sun, or someone who feels deeply connected to Aquarius energy, you already know this. You don't read just to escape. You read to understand, to challenge, to reimagine the future, and sometimes, to survive the strange loneliness of thinking differently. This episode is for the readers who are called too idealistic, too detached, too weird, or too ahead of their time. This is a curated reading experience for Aquarius Sun personalities, books that honor independence, rebellion, radical thought, innovation, emotional intelligence through logic, and the quiet ache of being misunderstood. Stay with me because by the end of this, you won't just have book recommendations, you'll have mirror texts, stories that think like you, stories that argue with you, stories that refuse easy answers, just like Aquarius. Let's begin with the core Aquarius frequency. Aquarius is an air sign, but not the soft conversational air. This is electric air, charged air, the kind that fuels revolutions, movements, scientific breakthroughs, and social change. Aquarius suns are intellectually driven, future-focused, emotionally complex but privately processed, deeply humanitarian, yet fiercely individual, idealistic, skeptical, and strangely hopeful all at once. Aquarius doesn't want fantasy for comfort. Aquarius wants ideas that provoke, systems that evolve, and stories that ask dangerous questions. So every book in this section does at least one of the following: challenges power structures, explores technology, science, or societal design, centers outsiders, rebels, thinkers, or visionaries, questions what it means to be human in a changing world. Now let's step into the books themselves. 1. 1984 by George Orwell. Let's start with a book that Aquarius readers don't just read, they interrogate. This is not simply a dystopian novel. This is a warning system disguised as fiction. Aquarius suns are naturally alert to manipulation, propaganda, and systemic control. This book speaks directly to that instinct. What makes this resonate with Aquarius energy is not fear, but awareness. The idea that truth can be edited, language weaponized, and freedom slowly rewritten until people forget it ever existed. Aquarius doesn't panic while reading this. Aquarius analyzes it. You'll find yourself pausing, not because the story is slow, but because the implications are heavy. It feeds the Aquarius need to understand how power works so it can be dismantled. This is a foundational Aquarius book because it respects intelligence and demands responsibility. 2. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. If 1984 is control through fear, this book is control through pleasure. Aquarius energy immediately recognizes the danger here. A society engineered for happiness, no pain, no conflict, no deep emotion. Sounds ideal until you realize what's been traded away. Aquarius readers are allergic to artificial harmony. They want truth even when it's uncomfortable. This book explores technology's role in shaping humanity, the cost of convenience, the ethics of engineered happiness. Aquarius suns will love how quietly disturbing this story is. It doesn't shout its message, it lets you discover it, which is exactly how Aquarius minds prefer to learn. 3. The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Aquarius is often seen as detached, but this book proves how deeply Aquarius cares about justice. This story is not about the future. It's about what happens when power goes unchecked and autonomy becomes negotiable. Aquarius readers connect strongly to narratives about resistance, especially subtle resistance. Small acts, quiet defiance, intellectual rebellion. This book resonates because Aquarius understands that change doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like survival with intention. It feeds the Aquarius need to question authority, protect human rights, recognize patterns before they repeat. This is a book that stays with you long after the last page, and Aquarius loves books that linger. 4. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Now let's move into nonfiction that feels like philosophy disguised as history. Aquarius suns adore big picture thinking, and this book delivers exactly that. It doesn't just explain what happened, it asks why humans believe the stories they do. Money, nations, religion, progress. all examined through a lens of curiosity rather than judgment. Aquarius readers feel validated here. This book respects the intelligence of the reader and trusts them to sit with uncertainty. If you're an Aquarius who constantly zooms out, wondering where humanity is headed, this book feels like an intellectual companion. 5. The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is one of the most Aquarius-coded books ever written. It explores two opposing societies, one built on capitalism, hierarchy, and ownership, the other on collectivism, equality, and shared responsibility. Aquarius suns don't want perfect systems. They want better questions. This book doesn't tell you which society is right. It lets you wrestle with the complexities. It honors the Aquarius desire to challenge economic structures, imagine alternative systems, understand the cost of ideals. This is a slow, thoughtful, deeply philosophical read, perfect for Aquarius minds that live in nuance. 6. Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Aquarius emotions are often misunderstood because they're processed intellectually first. This book captures that quiet emotional depth beautifully. It's a story about memory, identity, and the ethics of scientific advancement, but told in an understated, almost detached tone. Aquarius readers connect deeply to this emotional restraint. The feelings are there, but they're subtle, complex, and haunting. This book doesn't ask you to cry. It asks you to think and then feel later. 7. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. It's a book that feels increasingly relevant. A world where books are banned, not because they're dangerous, but because they encourage thought. Aquarius suns immediately understand the threat here. This book celebrates curiosity, rebellion through knowledge, and the preservation of ideas. Aquarius energy thrives on learning, not for status but for liberation. This is a reminder that reading itself is an act of resistance. Aquarius doesn't read to be entertained. Aquarius reads to wake up. These books don't comfort you, they activate you. They challenge your beliefs, stretch your thinking, and remind you that the future is shaped by those who dare to question the present. And we're just getting started. Next, we'll move into the Aquarius Moon, the emotional world Aquarius rarely shows, and the books that understand it anyway. Stay with me, the most introspective reads are coming next. Aquarius Moon people feel everything. They just don't perform it. Their emotions live underground, processed through thought, memory, observation, and distance. Not because they're cold, but because feeling deeply without understanding feels unsafe to them. If you're an Aquarius Moon, you've probably been told, you're hard to read, you're emotionally detached, you intellectualize your feelings too much. But the truth is quieter. Aquarius Moon doesn't lack emotion. It lacks patience for emotional chaos without meaning. So the books that resonate here aren't dramatic or sentimental. They're reflective, psychological, slightly lonely. Stories that sit with emotion instead of explaining it away. These are the books Aquarius Moon readers don't just enjoy, they recognize themselves in. The moon governs the inner life. How you process emotions, how you protect yourself, how you attach, detach, and retreat. For Aquarius Moon, emotions are filtered through logic first, then felt later, often in private. This placement is known for emotional independence, discomfort with emotional dependency, deep empathy paired with emotional distance, feeling misunderstood even in close relationships. Aquarius Moon readers gravitate toward books that explore alienation without melodrama, honor silence and restraint, examine identity, memory, and consciousness, allow space for ambiguity. Now let's enter those inner worlds. 8. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. This book speaks directly to the Aquarius Moon experience of emotional isolation. Not loneliness from lack of people, but loneliness from lack of understanding. What resonates here isn't just sadness, it's the sense of watching life happen from behind glass. Observing instead of participating. Thinking instead of feeling freely. Aquarius Moon readers connect to the internal dialogue, the sharp awareness, the analysis of self, the feeling of being fundamentally different. This book doesn't rush toward healing. It lets the emotional reality exist without forcing resolution, something Aquarius Moons deeply respect. 9. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Aquarius Moon often feels like they're living slightly outside the main narrative of life. This book literalizes that feeling. A hidden world beneath the ordinary. People who slip through the cracks. A protagonist who becomes invisible simply by not fitting. Aquarius Moons resonate with the idea of existing on the margins, not out of failure but difference. This story blends fantasy with emotional displacement, making it perfect for Aquarius Moon readers who need metaphor to access emotion. 10. The Stranger by Albert Camus. Few books capture emotional detachment as honestly as this one. Aquarius Moon understands the discomfort of not reacting correctly to emotional expectations. This book doesn't justify detachment, it presents it plainly. The absence of conventional emotional response becomes the central tension, forcing readers to question what society expects from emotion, whether authenticity must look a certain way. Aquarius Moon readers appreciate the restraint here. The silence speaks louder than sentiment ever could. 11. A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. Aquarius Moon is often misunderstood as unfeeling, when in reality, emotion is hidden behind walls built for survival. This book captures that perfectly. A protagonist who appears emotionally rigid, socially distant, and inflexible, yet harbors profound care beneath the surface. Aquarius Moon readers recognize this emotional architecture. Structure first, vulnerability later. This is a reminder that love doesn't always look expressive. Sometimes it looks consistent, loyal, quiet. 12. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Hunneman. Aquarius Moon energy often manifests as social detachment mixed with internal complexity. This book explores that space beautifully. A character who doesn't follow social norms, doesn't emote conventionally, and doesn't seek validation, yet feels deeply alone. Aquarius Moon readers connect to emotional self-sufficiency, discomfort with intimacy, the slow, careful opening toward connection. This story doesn't rush emotional transformation. It respects pacing, which is exactly how Aquarius Moon heals. 13. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen C.H. Bosky. Observation is an Aquarius Moon superpower. This book centers on watching, listening, absorbing, feeling deeply while standing slightly apart. The emotional intelligence here isn't loud. It's reflective. Aquarius Moon readers resonate with the idea that being quiet doesn't mean being unaware. Sometimes it means feeling too much to speak freely. This book honors emotional sensitivity without spectacle. 14. Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. This is a book that mirrors the Aquarius Moon subconscious. Surreal, symbolic, emotionally abstract, this story doesn't explain itself, and neither does Aquarius Moon. Dream logic, fragmented identity, parallel realities, all resonate with the way Aquarius Moon processes emotion indirectly. It's not about understanding every detail. It's about letting the emotional atmosphere wash over you. Aquarius Moon readers don't need clarity here. They need resonance. Aquarius Moon doesn't need emotional validation from the world. They need recognition. These books don't ask you to be louder, softer, warmer, or different. They simply sit with you, in silence, in thought, in depth. And next, we move outward. Aquarius Rising is the version of Aquarius the world actually meets. This is not the emotional interior. This is not the philosophical processing. This is Aquarius in motion. Aquarius Rising walks into a room already 10 steps ahead, thinking differently, dressing differently, questioning differently. They don't try to stand out. They simply refuse to compress themselves. The books that resonate here are bold, inventive, unconventional. They imagine futures, dismantle systems, elevate outsiders, and challenge what society calls normal. These are the books that don't ask permission. Rising signs govern how you move through the world, how others perceive you, the energy you project before you speak. Aquarius Rising is recognized as unconventional, detached but magnetic, progressive, future-minded, rebellious. These readers are drawn to books that break narrative rules, imagine alternative futures, spotlight radical thinkers, challenge tradition and authority. This is where Aquarius becomes visionary. Let's begin. 15. The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. This book is pure Aquarius thought experiment. It questions gender, identity, and societal norms without prescribing answers. Aquarius Rising readers are drawn to this kind of intellectual courage, the willingness to imagine worlds where assumptions no longer apply. This story doesn't provoke for shock, it provokes for understanding. It respects complexity, ambiguity, and the intelligence of the reader, hallmarks of Aquarius energy. 16. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. Aquarius Rising often lives with one eye on the present and one on the future. This book exists in that liminal space. It explores collapse, not with chaos but with quiet reflection. Art, memory, connection, and meaning survive even when systems fall apart. Aquarius readers resonate with the idea that progress isn't linear, and that rebuilding requires imagination, not nostalgia. This book captures Aquarius resilience beautifully. 17. The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Stripped language, minimalism, stark truth. Aquarius Rising respects books that don't over-explain. This story examines survival, morality, and humanity in the absence of structure. What resonates with Aquarius is not the bleakness, but the philosophical question. What remains when systems collapse? Aquarius Rising readers are drawn to this kind of existential clarity. 18. Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. This is Aquarius energy in narrative form. Interconnected stories, non-linear structure, themes that echo across time, identity, and consequence. Aquarius Rising loves books that require pattern recognition. This novel rewards readers who think in systems rather than sequences. It reinforces a core Aquarius belief. Everything is connected, even when it doesn't look like it yet.
19. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. While often misunderstood as simple, this book resonates deeply with Aquarius Rising when read symbolically. It's not about destiny, it's about listening to intuition, rejecting fear, and moving beyond societal expectations. Aquarius Rising understands the call to walk away from prescribed paths. This book speaks to inner knowing over external validation, something Aquarius embodies naturally. 20. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Humor is one of Aquarius's sharpest tools. This book captures the absurdity of existence while questioning authority, logic, and meaning. Aquarius Rising loves satire that exposes how ridiculous rigid systems can be. This is intellectual rebellion wrapped in wit, perfect Aquarius energy. 21. Dune by Frank Herbert. Power, politics, ecology, and prophecy, all examined through a visionary lens. Aquarius Rising is fascinated by how systems evolve and collapse. This book explores leadership not as dominance, but responsibility. Aquarius readers connect to the idea of foresight, the burden of seeing what others cannot yet imagine. 22. The Giver by Lois Lowry. This book resonates deeply with Aquarius's discomfort with forced uniformity, a society without pain, but also without depth. Aquarius Rising immediately recognizes the cost of emotional suppression. This story validates Aquarius's instinct to resist systems that prioritize control over authenticity. 23. Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Time as nonlinear, war as absurd, humanity as both tragic and ridiculous. Aquarius Rising appreciates books that refuse to obey narrative logic. This novel mirrors Aquarius's ability to zoom out, seeing events simultaneously rather than sequentially. It's philosophical without being pretentious, rebellious without being loud. 24. The Circle by Dave Eggers. Aquarius Rising is deeply concerned with privacy, technology, and surveillance. This book examines what happens when transparency becomes compulsory. It resonates with Aquarius skepticism toward tech utopianism. Progress without ethics is not progress, and Aquarius knows this instinctively. 25. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. We close the entire series with a book that captures Aquarius curiosity perfectly. Parallel lives, alternate possibilities, the question of who we might have been. Aquarius Rising lives comfortably with what if. This book honors that mental exploration without demanding regret. It's hopeful without being naive, an ideal note to end on. Aquarius is not here to blend in. Aquarius is here to rethink reality. These 25 books don't just align with Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising, they speak the language of Aquarius itself. Curiosity, rebellion, intellect, compassion, futurism, and freedom. If you found even one book here that felt like recognition, not recommendation, then this list did its job. Read bravely, think differently, and never apologize for seeing the world before it's ready to see itself.